morning to you. This is the Mitv News on 8. I am Wofai Samuel. President Muhammad Buhari has urged the member states of the non-aligned movement NEM, development partners and international community to assist security personnel, victims and countries affected by Boko Haram insurgency. The spokesperson to the Nigerian mission to the United Nations, Mr. Akinremi Bolaji, said in a statement on Monday that the president made the call in his speech at the 17th summit of NAM at the island of Margarita, Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. NAM is a group of states which are not formally aligned with or against any major power bloc. Buhari stressed the need to provide assistance to member countries that had borne the brunt of Boko Haram terrorism and relief to the internally displaced persons, IDPs, and refugees. He explained that the scourge of terrorism and violent extremism had continued to wreak havoc in Nigeria and countries around the Lake Chad Basin. According to him, thousands of nationals have been killed and maimed, in addition to the millions that have been displaced from their homes. The Economic Management Team of the Federal Government of Nigeria on Monday began its quarterly business forum while blaming the current economic recession and the activities of the Niger Delta militancy. The forum met with members of the organized private sector with a view to charting a course to end the economic recession, recover the economy, as well as grow our economy. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo stood in for President Muhammad Buhari, who was unavoidably absent as he is attending the 7th First General Assembly of the United Nations in New York. The Vice President in his remarks said the role of the private sector in nation building cannot be overemphasized. To this end, the present administration says it will continue to engage them as it has always done since its inception.
The agro-allied industry, with rice farmers, with wheat farmers, several occasions, not once. Also, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce of the none of these can really seriously say that they have not been engaged. I have spent considerable time with these groups, and of course NESG and several other groups. So I think that the issue really is perhaps this forum, but I think that we might benefit even more from the sectoral type engagement.
Vice President also explained that the present economic situation must be addressed within the context of its root cause and given adequate remedy.
I think that the point really is that a lot depends on what sort of recession it is and how you got there. If we did not have the vandalization of pipelines in Niger Delta, we probably would not have entered negative territory by now. And there's no way in the world that you can lose 1 million barrels of oil a day when you are projecting 2.2 million barrels of oil a day, and you won't suffer tremendously, especially where that same revenue is what drives your non-oil revenues.
Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun also used the forum to explain the historic background to the present recession and the quickest way out.
We need to change the strategic direction of the Nigerian economy, and that will explain some of the dislocations that we're currently having to encounter. If you actually look at our GDP growth from 2005 up to 2015, it was actually a negative trend.
Members of the private sector also expressed optimism on the latest policies aimed at ending the recession in earnest.
There are a lot of other challenges that we have in operating business in this country. Everyone knows those challenges, there are quite many. But basically, I think they need to pump in a lot of money into the development of infrastructure, because that's a quick way to reflect the economy.
In the meantime, a militant group on Monday claimed an attack on a crude oil pipeline in Delta State, in the second attack on same pipelines in less than a week. In an emailed statement, Niger Delta Greenland Justice Mandate NDGJM, the spokesperson Aldo Agbalaja said Opudo Strike Force at about 11:30 p.m. on Sunday, September 18, 2016, struck the Afiashere, a Kyubo delivery line in Ugeli, operated by the Nigerian Petroleum Development Corporation (NPDC) shoreline. The rebel group hit the same pipeline last Tuesday and vowed to grab the Nigerian economy, which is already in recession, in large part due to plummeting oil exports as a result of sabotage. The NDGJM has stepped up its attacks after rival groups, the Niger Delta Avengers, declared a ceasefire in August and entered talks with the Nigerian government. Nigeria's military has boosted its presence in the oil-producing southern swamplands in response to the attacks, raiding suspected militant camps and clamping down on illegal oil refineries. Still on the news, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Mahmood Mohammed, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria, Abubakar Malami San, and the leader of the Body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, TJO Okpoko San, on Monday expressed dismay at the rising trend of conflicting judgments by courts in Nigeria. Justice Mohammed, Malami and Okpoko said instances where lower courts of coordinating jurisdiction render conflicting judgments on similar cases and that some instances ignore established precedents are harmful to the integrity and reputation of Nigeria's judiciary. The CJN had disclosed that the worrying trend was currently being investigated by the National Judicial Council (NJC), assured that appropriate punitive actions would be taken against the judges found wanting in this regard. Justice Mohammed, Malami and Okpoko spoke in Abuja during a special court session to mark the commencement of the Supreme Court's 2016-2017 new legal year and the swearing in of newly conferred senior advocates of Nigeria. In all, 22 lawyers, including the Director General of the Nigerian Law School, Olanrewaju Onadeko, were conferred with the prestigious legal titles. We'll get a short break now for news on the foreign scene. Please join us again. A suspect being hunted over the Manhattan and New Jersey bombings is in custody after a shootout. Ahmad Khan Rahami, a New Jersey resident and a naturalized U.S. citizen from Afghanistan, was being sought over the attacks at the weekend. The development in the fast-moving investigation came after 5 devices were discovered in the New Jersey city of Elizabeth, one of which exploded as a bomb squad robot tried to disable it. FBI agents raided an apartment linked to Rahami, who is 28 years old, above a fried chicken outlet in Elizabeth, close to where the devices were found late on Sunday. The discovery followed a series of attacks in the U.S. over the weekend. And now to Pakistan. Pakistan has hit back after India accused it of masterminding a militant attack in India-administered Kashmir that killed 18 soldiers. A statement from Pakistan's foreign ministry condemned the statements by India. It called India's stance a blatant attempt to deflect attention from human rights abusers in Kashmir. Indian Home Affairs Minister Rajnath Singh called Pakistan a terrorist state soon after Sunday's attack. 17 soldiers died in the raid. 1 soldier succumbed to his injuries on Monday, taking the death toll to 18. We'll go and get another short break now for news on sports. Please join us again. Rangers have suspended Joey Burton for 3 weeks, 6 days after he was sent home from training following a heated argument with a teammate. The 34-year-old, who admitted he had some inappropriate things to fellow midfielder Andy Holiday, returned to Ibrox for a meeting on Monday. A Rangers statement said the club and manager Mark Warburton felt all parties now needed time and space. It added that neither the club nor Burton would make any further statement. Warburton was asked about the player at his media conference to preview Tuesday's meeting with the Queen of South in the League Cup, but but refused to disclose whether or not Burton will continue to be paid during his suspension. Finally on the news, stock manager Mark Hughes has been fined €8,000 by the Football Association after being set off during his side's loss at home to Tottenham. Hughes was sent to the stand for reacting angrily during the 4-0 defeat on 10 September and later charged with improper conduct. He later said he would not contest the charges as it would cost money. He would prefer to give this to his grandchildren. The 52-year-old said the FA charge rubbed salt into the wounds. The Welshman had reacted angrily after stock forward Marko Arnautovic was booked for driving. That's the AM News on MITV. Thank you so much for watching. Up next is AM Chat. I am Wofai Samuel.